There you go, Chad. Hey.
Get the football,
run your feet. Hey, you know. Finish.
The Gameday Broadcast Network is proud to present Football Media Day. Football Media Day is brought to you by Lark Brewing Company and Restaurant, Loudoun's #1 destination for great food and great times. And by Integrated Sports Medicine and Physical Therapy. When you need to get back in the game or the game of life, call Robin O'Connor and Integrated Sports Medicine today.
Hundreds of high school athletes have trusted Integrated Sports Medicine and Physical Therapy to help them get back on the field. Don't let that injury go untreated. Call Integrated Sports Medicine and Physical Therapy today at 703-724-7474 or visit us online at integratedsportspt.com. It's where athletes go to get back in the game.
Good.
Hey, how you doing? My name is Kedrick Golston, new head football coach at Stonebridge High School. Super excited to be taking over the program in its 25th year. We all know about the legendary coach, Mickey Thompson, has stepped down. So for me to get the keys to this program is something that I'm really looking forward to and just excited to be involved in. The kids have responded extremely well to the off season. We've been pushing them hard in the weight room, out running, conditioning. And they've done a great job. So now that we've started training camp, just looking forward to them getting better each and every single day. Some days are better than others, but that's to be expected. So me and my coaching staff are working diligently to give them a plan to be able to go out there and execute to have a great season. The standards are high here at Stonebridge. We know that. We embrace that. And we know what it's going to take to continue to meet that standard that Coach Thompson has set.
Coach, just talk a little bit about what it's been like taking over the program. What have you learned so far since you've been there?
Football is football, but obviously being the head of a program, you got to make sure uniforms are ordered. You got to make sure you feed the kids during training camp, so on and so forth. But it's been a learning process for me in some of the day-to-day operations. But, once you get out there on the field and you hear those pads pounding and the weight room is buzzing, it's just football, and I'm excited about that. The great thing that I have is a great program with the administration that backs me and giving me everything I need to go out there and be successful. So I'm really looking forward to this year, understanding that it's going to be a grind, but if it was easy, everybody would do it.
Coach, the first part of taking over a program, especially when you haven't been coaching high school football here in Ashburn, here in Sterling, I assume there's been some bumps in the road, some things you have to overcome, just learning the kids, learning the program, hiring a staff. Just walk us through what you've been focused on primarily and maybe tell us a little bit about that journey.
I think initially it was a surprise to all when Coach Thompson decided to retire. And then, the hiring process took a little bit longer than was expected. And so first thing was first was just trying to get good people hired to be able to go out there and do this with me. I knew I was only as good as the staff that I could get together. Obviously bringing over Scott McGinney from Tuscarora was a huge get that we got. A couple former teammates of mine and Kerry Campbell, Rock Cartwright came on board. So just super excited to have that wealth of knowledge in the building. But to understand that it's a drastic change from what Coach Thompson did from an offensive standpoint and what we're going to do. And defensively, just, reteaching the things and kind of starting from scratch. None of us had really worked together at this capacity. Didn't have a huge file on the kids. We knew some of them from just growing up, being in the area, but it was all new to us. So every day has kind of been a learning experience for us as a coaching staff, but also as the players. But I take my hat off to the players. They've been resilient and kind of moving with us when we needed to move, but understanding there's some core principles that we have in this program that we're never going to waver from.
The background of this program has been one that has played in 12 state championships, had tremendous success. A lot of people shied away from taking this opportunity or coming to even apply for it. I better say it like that. Why was this job interesting to you, I guess is the question.
Well, I think with any job, you got to make sure you got the support of the community, which Stonebridge has a great fan base. The parents loved it. Just at the Ashburn community loves Stonebridge. The administration and Dr. Flynn, Joni, Kyle, They understand what sports mean to young people, and that's a huge part of why I took this. It's more than just football, and I don't really consider that cliche. I mean, obviously we want to go out there and compete at a high level, and that's just the standard for me. You know what I mean? Whether it's youth sports, whether it's high school, whether it's college, you want people to perform to the best of their abilities. And that's really why there's really no nerves in taking this opportunity is because that's the standard that has been set, and that's the standard that I have. And so the goal isn't necessarily – the goal is to compete for state championships, but I'm more concerned with the process of my players being the best they can be day in and day out and holding to that standard and giving them the support from a coaching and a scheme to be able for them to be the best version of themselves.
Certainly the ability to put in your system, the culture, all that stuff is still underway because of not having a full year under your belt yet. That said, I was curious, you had a scrimmage the other night against Tuscarora. Your thoughts on how your kids played in that, and what were the things that you feel like you need to be a lot better at coming away from that?
You know, I think, it was our first time kind of in playing against somebody in a different color jersey. I think defensively, we did some really positive things. We got to clean up some things of just fundamental things that can bite you in the butt. Offensively, we got some stuff we need to work on. The great thing about scrimmage and Tuskegee is they do some things defensively that challenged us, and we were able to teach off of that tape. And so coming out of it, watching the tape, I was excited at the possibilities of what we could be, and then understanding we had a challenge to make sure that the players understood why we were doing the things we were doing and how one person's jobs affects another. So it's a part of the process, and it's like I tell my players, whether we think we're excellent or we think we're poor, the goal the next day is just to get better, right? So if we keep that mentality of being accountable for our own actions, if we make a mistake, own up to it, but to get better each and every single day, we don't really ride the highs, the good days or the good plays, and then we don't let the bad plays continue to affect us because the goal is to get better. So take the information, understand where the mistakes were made, and then improve.
Over the years, the quarterback position has always taken center stage. Of course, that's everywhere. I know you're a defensive guy, but, the quarterback spot is a big spot here. I know you've got some young guys competing for that opportunity. Can you hit on those guys for a little bit and tell us where they are?
The quarterback position is what it is. You need that guy to be a competitor. You need him to be tough. You also need him to be able to rally guys around him. We got three guys, and Robert, MQ, and Amir that are fighting their tails off, and I've been pleased with that competition. This week will be a huge on deciding who's gonna take the reins when we go to Madison to play them. But ultimately they all do some things that you like. They all need to improve in certain areas. So I'm as excited as anybody else to kind of watch how this thing materializes to see who's really gonna take that job and leave no doubt to who should really be the starter.
You certainly have some pieces back from last year's state runner-up team on the edge on defense. You got the two corners that are, certainly sought-after guys at the college level. You got some really good players inside as well. Christian Evans, your son, has come over to join you here. Can you just talk a little bit about some of those guys that have a chance to go play at the next level and what you've seen from them?
Yeah, obviously everybody knows Christian Evans. I knew Christian from being in this area. It's been nothing but a joy to work with him. His power, his explosiveness. Kellen Nash is a young player that is gonna have a big year. To see how he's grown from day one since I got here to where he is now, I'm super excited for him. Gavin Harrison, 6'4", 220-pound kid that missed the season last year due to a torn up knee has been a pleasant surprise on what he can do for us defensively. Chase Geeter obviously is long, he can run, and I'm looking for a big season out of him. And the great thing that I like about our guys, obviously my son coming over to play, linebacker, a little bit of defensive end for us, is that with all the attention that some of these guys are getting, man, they just want to get better each and every single day. You know what I mean? They are where their feet are, and their attention to detail and wanting to learn what we're asking them to do has been really, really pleasant. Christian's committed to Virginia Tech, but every single day, Coach, what can I do? And it's not just talk, man. So to see kind of where he is and where he's going to go, it's going to be an exciting year.
Go ahead, Tim.
Yeah, Coach Tim Blank, senior correspondent for Gameday. Just curious a minute. I mean, you also brought up that you have a couple of former teammates coming to the staff. I mean, I just got to ask, I mean, especially having been a lifelong Washington fan, how it feels coaching for a school that is so close to where a lot of you guys basically spent most of your professional careers at.
Absolutely. I mean, it's funny because I can remember back in 2008, 2009, me, Kerry, and Rock out there running on that upfield at Stonebridge, working out with Eddie Mason, running around that track. So football aside, those are two gentlemen that I think young people need to be around. They've done everything the right way. They were grinders. They maximized their potential. And I wanted them to be involved in this, so I was fortunate enough to get them. And just a wealth of knowledge from football to life to, where these kids are now to where they want to be, and then, post-career, so on and so forth. So it's been exciting to kind of see them just dig their heels in and just wrap their arms around these players to try to grow them both on and off the field.
Coach, Bulldog fans have been watching Stonebridge football for decades here. Want to know probably what's going to be different. What should we expect as we get ready for the season here?
Well, there's one thing that I know about Bulldog football from being for sitting in those stands myself is that we want our team to be led by our offense and defensive line. We understand that's the foundation of our program, and we want to be fast, physical, and tough. And that's what every football coach says when they stand up here. But we're intentional on how we go about our practices, how we go about our strength and conditioning. Is that we like to say that football is the only sport that still rewards toughness. And so we want to make sure that when we step in the stadiums, that we're equipped to be able to go out there and play the type of brand of Bulldog football that we've all been accustomed to and have learned to love.
Certainly, your schedule is not going to be an easy one here. Last year was very difficult. They were able to get past it and then run on to the state championship game. Looking at your schedule this year, you don't have Martinsburg, but you still play Quince Orchard. You got Dunbar. You also have Good Counsel. It's a nationally ranked team. Do you feel like you'll have enough time to get everybody ready for those kind of battles here with a new system going in and so forth?
Hey, we have what we have. You know what I mean? And to be able to play against, obviously, Good Counsel, Quince Orchard, Dunbar, those are programs that compete at the highest level. And so, our motto is if we want to be the best, we have to play the best. There's no excuses. You know what I mean? And I don't care, where you're from or what area you grow up in. Football is football. It's played 100 yards by 53. And so if we do what we're supposed to do and take care of the things we can take care of, we should be fine. And that's with all due respect to those programs. Obviously, Madison is a 6A, in that state championship talk every single year. And so they run a great program. So I'm just excited for the opportunity to go out there and compete. You know what I mean? And if you can give a punch, you got to be able to take one, right? And the best fighters are the guys that not necessarily can throw a punch, but they can take one and throw another one. And so that's our mentality is, you know what I mean? I'm not looking for perfection. I just want a great effort and to understand that competition, sometimes you lose some, sometimes you win some, but we're going to compete day in and day out and let the chips fall where they may.
Coach, it's a pleasure to have you here. Excited for you, and we wish you the best of luck here in your first year as head coach at Stonebridge, and we'll see how the Bulldogs do this year.
Thank you.
There you go, Tim. Hey. Keep on your feet. Hey, Finish.
The Gameday Broadcast Network is proud to present Football Media Day. Football Media Day is brought to you by Lark Brewing Company and Restaurant, Loudoun's #1 destination for great food and great times. And by Integrated Sports Medicine and Physical Therapy. When you need to get back in the game or the game of life, call Robin O'Connor and Integrated Sports Medicine today.
Hundreds of high school athletes have trusted Integrated Sports Medicine and Physical Therapy to help them get back on the field. Don't let that injury go untreated. Call Integrated Sports Medicine and Physical Therapy today at 703-724-7474 or visit us online at integratedsportspt.com. It's where athletes go to get back in the game.